Hello and welcome to Monday's video, everyone. And it's a pretty good Monday. I'm sure we're all in a fine mood for a number of reasons. It's a big week for Celtic. We're playing in the knockout rounds of the UEFA Champions League for the first time in 12 years. Wednesday night, we take on the might of Bayern Munich. We're going to be chatting a bit about that today, going through some injury stuff. And maybe I'm just starting to convince you all a little bit that we could do the impossible, or maybe not impossible, and beat Bayern Munich, certainly this Wednesday night. We've got a little bit of stuff to talk about from the weekend, including a certain result that happened yesterday. Oh, and at the end, I will be reading excerpts from the popular football website followfollow.com. Oh, and we're celebrating a year of Celtic AM too. Woo! Yes, 1 year ago, and a couple of days as well, but I didn't do one over the weekend. So let's just say 1 year ago, after Celtic's dramatic win over Hibernian at Easter Road, I put out the first video on Celtic AM and explained the whole idea. The one kind of positive is that I am awake while you sleep. That sounded incredibly sinister, but right now, there's I would say if you're living in that side of the world, up there, there's about a 95% chance you're sleeping right now. It's currently 3:51 AM Celtic Park time, and I'm making this video. So I've got an opportunity while you sleep to craft a video that is available for you to wake up to, hence the Celtic AM. A year down the line, 259 videos later, we've got a subscriber following of very close to 13,000. We've had 2.1 million views, 18.1 million impressions, whatever that is. 6 meltdowns from Stevie as well. Most importantly, Celtic have chalked up 3 more trophies. I do just want to point out at this stage that during this 5 or 6 month hiatus for me between 67 Hail Hail and Celtic AM, Celtic didn't win any trophies. In fact, Rangers won the only domestic trophy going while I'm away, and then I come back and suddenly Celtic start winning again. Coincidence? Not for me to say. Anyway, genuine kind of sincere bit at this stage. And can't believe the progress we've made in a year together. And I say we because we all are part of this. All of you who have supported the channel, whether you are subscribed, whether you comment, whether you're a silent watcher, I appreciate all your help. And we're growing all the time. Who knows who we're going to be a year from now? I'd love to be at 25,000 subscribers, keep it growing. We've got more contributors starting in the coming weeks as well, so we're continuing to grow gradually as we go forward. And everything is good. And I guess with videos and time passing, you learn from mistakes. And a mistake I did make this time last year, in fact, this very day when we just got started, was that I told you all the Super Bowl results. So don't worry, anyone, I'm not doing that this year. I'm going to learn from my mistakes. Avoid the comments though, because someone else will probably spoil it. That's where we're at. Mentioned Stevie a minute ago, by the way. Look at this for a message that I woke up to from that great man this morning. It simply read Rangers followed by 9 laughing emojis. And that could only mean one thing. Yes, our glorious rivals have done something hilarious once again. They crashed out of the Scottish Cup, beaten by Queen's Park at Ibrox, and we are now once again huge favourites to win a 6th treble in 9 years. There's still obviously a fair bit of work to be done though, but plenty to look forward to. We'll circle back to our rivals and laugh a bit at them at the end of the video with readings from their great forum, but for now, what's happening at Celtic? Well, all roads are leading to Wednesday night, and one of the games that come about occasionally that really need no billing. However, we're still going to do that over the next few days or so. And I guess we're all going to be dreaming of Celtic somehow beating Bayern Munich on Wednesday night and setting us up for whatever's to come next week in Germany. That's a great thing about being a football fan. You can just dream until our hopes are shattered. they are very much possible. And I was pretty pleased to see Callum McGregor being up front and not shying away from what the big target is for this Celtic team: win Wednesday night's match. Now, he told the media, if we have any idea of progressing out the tie, we have to win. I think that's obvious. It'll be a tough game over there, so we have to carry something into the away game. In my opinion, we have to win. If we don't believe it, then no one else in the stadium is going to. Our performance has to bring belief to the stadium. Hopefully, we start on a positive foot and try and do the things that we want to do. At that point, the stadium grows in belief. One or two things might happen in the game, and all of a sudden, everyone's got this feeling that it could be a special night. And I think that sums up how I feel now when you're drawing. Obviously, it's a two-legged tie, and generally these things, you think of them as two separate legs, a home leg and an away leg, and that obviously is the case here. But yeah, I'm not really thinking about Munich yet at this stage. For me, it's all about treating Wednesday night's game as a one-off. Like, away goals are rid of as well, and I think they got rid of them. I was looking up middle of 2021, so I think we've probably only had one knockout tie ever without away goals, and that would have been Bodo Glimt, I think. So, like, Celtic aren't very used to, way back before away goals were a thing, it would have happened, but in terms of like the 21st century. So we're not really used to, as Celtic fans, this dynamic, and I think it does make it a bit easier for us, this tie, because I really think you just have to go for it. You have to give it your best shot and not worry too much about, conceding goals on Wednesday night. Obviously, we're not going to go gung-ho against Bayern Munich. We're not mad. But also, we're in this tie and don't really have anything to lose. The pressure is completely on Bayern Munich. They're the team that, 99 out of 100 people will expect to win this tie. And possibly even Wednesday night's game, they'll be overwhelming favourites even in a one-off game at Celtic Park. So I just think, you go out and just give them hell, make them uncomfortable on the pitch like we did with RB Leipzig, and make them uncomfortable off the pitch as well, like the Celtic Park support will certainly do. And if all of that comes together and we see a performance like we saw against Leipzig, I don't think Bayern Munich are unbeatable. They concede goals. They won 3-0 against Werder Bremen on Friday night. We'll chat a wee bit more about that in a second. But that was their first clean sheet in 6 games. In fact, in the 5 games prior to that, they conceded 10 goals as a team. So they clearly concede goals. And yeah, I think there's possibilities for us on Wednesday night. I really don't think it's impossible for Celtic to beat Bayern on Wednesday night. I think it's a result we should be looking to get. And even if the second leg doesn't go as planned, or probably for a lot of people does go as planned, and we lose probably by a few goals out there, at the very least go into that second leg with something to hold on to. Very least avoid defeat on Wednesday night. And that's how I'm viewing things at the moment. And yeah, I think it's quite a simple one for the Celtic team to prepare for. Forget about Munich, just focus on Wednesday night at Celtic Park with all the things that we like, the Celtic support, the pitch, the surroundings that we know. Make it uncomfortable for them and let's see what can happen. Erin Jack bringing up the point about goals, saying, I'm very quietly optimistic with Wednesday. Celtic are dangerous and Bayern are susceptible to conceding a couple. Just need to be careful at the back, and if they score, not let it get us too down and get ready to go again. Matty is saying the attitude and courage they've shown the last 3 games is how we need to go into the Bayern game. We need to not go in thinking we can't compete. Also, more shots and goals like we've seen from Kuhn, Kalmak, Engels, etc. We don't need to keep trying to walk the ball in the net. By the way, as I say, Bayern Munich did beat Werder Bremen, team with Ollie Burke, I think, playing 3-0 on Friday night. But it doesn't seem like it was a particularly great performance from Bayern. I think all their goals were in the second half. The final 2 goals were in the last 10 minutes, and 2 of the goals were penalty kicks as well. And I was listening to a bit to one of the few Bayern Munich podcasts in English out there, and the general feeling seems to be that they're not in a great place at the moment, that they're struggling to create chances a little bit. And now I'm always very wary of reading too much into fans being critical. Because, they're Bayern Munich, a bit like Celtic, they'll have like incredibly high standards, and even winning 3-0, while 3-0 would be a brilliant result for the majority of teams domestically. For teams like Celtic and Bayern Munich, sometimes you win 3-0, but it's not a particularly amazing performance. But it certainly doesn't seem like we're going to face a Bayern Munich team who are absolutely flying at the moment. Quite a few players maybe doubts for Wednesday night's match as well. Again, try not to read too much into this, but there's a Twitter account, Bayern in Germany, who have quoted a report from the German outlet Bild detailing the players who missed training on Sunday for Bayern. So they've got João Palhinha with the flu, Serge Gnabry with the cold, Alphonso Davies, who I didn't actually realise had been missing for a wee while with a hamstring injury. He's set to miss Wednesday night's game. Daniel Peretz recovering from a kidney issue. Manuel Neuer, which is an interesting one, I believe was just rested. I think he's late 30s now? He must be. So he's still expected to play alongside their centre-back, very good player Kim Min-jae, but he also missed training with an Achilles tendon problem. So yeah, Bayern possibly going to be missing a few players. Clearly they're still going to be an exceptional team, but not unbeatable for Celtic with all the things we like at Celtic Park. By the way, just our kind of injury update, Paulo Bernardo went off during the first half of Saturday's game. Brendan Rodgers speaking after the game with the likes of Charlie Mulgrew and Alan Hutton on Premier Sports said he probably came off a wee bit more as a precaution. He just rocked his ankle a wee bit. He should be okay for Wednesday. So yeah, all good there. So much build up to happen between now and Wednesday. Tomorrow's going to be the big video we put out. I'm hoping to find out all about Bayern Munich and maybe get more of an insight into whether they really are a team that we can get at on Wednesday, or if some of the form stuff has been overblown. Hoping to speak to a Bayern Munich expert tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, can't wait for it. It's just going to be a brilliant game on Wednesday night, and a huge opportunity for this Celtic team. As I say, I'll keep some of my powder dry for now because we've got plenty of time to build up for that. I'm going to finish with the really important stuff that you've all been hanging on for, because and I guess actually thinking about it, yesterday's results show that results can happen in football, and two bigger shocks happened yesterday than what it would be if we beat Bayern on Wednesday night. Of course, Queen's Park and Adam Montgomery beating Rangers at Ibrox, as well as Plymouth Argyle, who also had a Celtic connection. Connor Hazard was in goal for them as they put Liverpool out of the FA Cup. Two huge shocks yesterday. Okay, on with it. Follow. We've got, I like this one, I should probably have left this till last. Lindsay Loyal posted saying, "Like most on here, Rangers is a way of life to me. They've never been just another football team. They mean so much more. I eat, sleep and breathe all things Rangers. Man and boy, I followed for 60 years and more, but today has left me a broken, beaten man. I'm truly at the end of my rope with it all. I've no idea where we go from here or how we'll ever compete again. My heart breaks for all the up-and-coming young Rangers supporters. I'm alright. Because all I see is pain and more pain for them as they face a future of being a poor second to a Celtic team winning treble after treble. God help us." This feature is definitely going to make a return whenever Rangers struggle. Okay, Sammy 1872. This is who we are now. A slightly better Aberdeen or a Hearts, capable of shocks like that every few years. When do we start saying we aren't getting back to the dominant force? Maybe about 2017, mate. Okay, I like this one. So this is a post that's titled, "So it's off to work we go tomorrow to face ridicule and scorn." The first post, "Thanks Clement, cheers Tav, you've reduced us to this. Our club's a laughing stock of monumental proportions and us with it. Please leave and don't look back." First reply, "On days like tomorrow, I'm glad that 90% of the football fans I work with support Rangers." But they're not all thrown in the towel. The no surrender mob are still out there. Bring in Captain Cutlass on follow. I'm sorry to go against the flow of fellow FFers' wisdom, and I know I'll be accused of being a happy clapper or a poster boy for whoever, but boycotting our games just isn't for me. It was drummed into me by my old dad in the early 60s that you never leave early and you never boo our team off the park, regardless of the result, and I've stuck to that principle religiously for over 50 years supporting Rangers. So have you noticed I'm kind of doing, you know, that guy on the Highland Regiment on Question Time? I'm kind of leaning into that here. Genius. I can just imagine his opinion of actually boycotting our games because we're upset with our result today. He was an 100% no surrender man, and I've absolutely no problem with continuing to follow his example. Tin hat well and truly on. So that's it, Rangers fans. Don't lose hope. Could always turn around for you. Anyway, we're building ahead to Bayern Munich and the UEFA Champions League on Wednesday night. Have a lovely Monday, everyone. Keep smiling. I'll chat to you tomorrow, and I promise we'll be a bit more serious then.